Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my JavaScript Noob to Pro tutorial series. In this episode we're going to take a look at using functions and variables, and we're going to discuss the benefits of using them. So let's take a look at where we left off from last time. What we've got here, actually let's have a look at this end here. What we've got is a button that on click will change the text to say hello world. Now the way this is depicted here is we've got on click, document get element by ID, so that's saying get the ID here, change me, which is this ID, and change the inner HTML to equal hello world. Now the problem with this is if you want to start adding different things to this and saying do different things on this click method, it's going to start getting really messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to extract this out into a function. So you would normally again put this in a separate JavaScript file, but for now we're just going to stick it here. No, we don't need all that add-on. There we go. Right, so we're going to take this text here and we're going to say function button clicked. So we'll just paste that in there. Right, so what we've got here is we're saying declare a function, and this function is going to be called button clicked. This works kind of similar to the way CSS worked, so what we'll do is we'll say to call that button clicked up here. So it's working a little bit like how CSS would work. You just imagine this as being a class, and this is where you're declaring that class. We're going to ignore these brackets here for now, but these here, these curly braces, just mean that everything inside there is what's going to get executed. So if we just save that, refresh this page and see if it still works, which it does, which is great. So there we go. That's that extracted out there, and that's relatively simple. So let's have a look at variables now. Now, recently there's more ways to declare variables, but we were just going to discuss using var. So just var to declare a variable, and then we're going to just call it text. Again, call it whatever you like. I'm just calling it text because that's what it is. We're going to set that equal to and hello world. And then just put our semicolon in there just to say that that's the end of the line. Now to call that, it's just kind of the same as the function. You're just going to put in text there, and that's going to call that. So we'll save that and have a look at here again, just make sure this is still working, which it is. There we go, perfect. So we're referencing text, say that we're setting inner HTML equal to text, and that text is set to hello world. Now if we want to take this a step further and extract this out even more, what we can do is we can pass it through from here, and we're going to do that using these braces here. So if we just take this text here, take that out there and stick it in there, now we can pass this down to our function, and the way we do that is using the corresponding braces here. So if we say text, and we'll get rid of this, so that's essentially declaring a variable. You don't need to type var text there. You just type in text, and that's saying that this first attribute here is going to be called text. Now if we were to add more attributes, we'd put a comma, just call it not test2, text2, and then we could say hello, and that would be the second attribute just because it's second in line here, and that would also get passed through, but we're just going to do the one for now. So this will just work. So we're referencing text already here, and that's set here, and it's getting passed through from here. So let's save that. We'll come back to our page again, click the button, and it still works. So that's been relatively straightforward. This is a lot cleaner than it was before, and the benefit of using this, passing it through that way, is if we want to add multiple buttons. So let's just duplicate this button here. We'll say it's button 2, and we'll just give it a different string. So let's say I am different, because it's special. Now this is still pointing towards button clicked, but it's just saying pass this text instead of that text if this button is clicked. So let's just save that and we'll take a look. So now we've got two buttons. This first button will say hello world. Click the second one, it says I am different. So that's it's relatively straightforward. You just have to get used to the syntax for all this. But once you've got that, you can apply that to any language that you pick up. So you'll get used to that as we go along. In the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at using JavaScript in a real-world situation, because that's how I learned, is just by doing real things. You're not going to learn just by reading books on, just the basic scripture of lists. It's you've actually got to do something with it for it to get it to stick in your head. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to validate a form, and we'll explore different data types and things like that. And we're actually going to cover quite a lot of ground in the next episode. It's going to be quite a large episode. Yeah, follow along, subscribe, and all that jazz. And thanks for watching. And just before I go, I'd like to take a second to thank my sponsor, a2hosting.com. I actually use them for my own VPS hosting, and the reason I like to use them is just because they allow you to scale things like the disk and the RAM independently, unlike some of the competitors. And their support is just fantastic as well. So if you're in need for a decent host, then follow the link in the description. And thank you for watching.